most about retiring? Well, I don't know, because I don't really still see myself as retired. I still see myself as kind of taking a break and maybe having to go back to work. I guess I enjoy watching YouTube videos where I get to see the perspectives from so many people that I have time to do that. And thank you for watching this. I know that you have so many choices. I know that you get quite a few options. And I appreciate you following me and Steve and Sammy. Please subscribe and give it a thumbs up. I found that when I get videos and don't subscribe and I try to go find them later, I can't always find them. So I need to start subscribing to the ones that I enjoy too. So the topic's different each week. If you have something you want me to talk about, put it in the comments. And I love to research things. I'll research it and I give my sources when it's not me personally, or it could be my life experiences. Moving 15 times, and I've also moved with my parents, so I've lived in 8 states. So I've been exposed to a lot of different things in my lifetime. Plus I'm very observant. So who knows what we're talking about next week? It's different every week. I don't even know till something just pops into my head. Any major lifestyle changes? Well, we moved 3 years, no, not 3. We moved 5 years ago to this house. That was a major change. We got rid of our basement, downsized a little bit. Other than that, well, me not working, but nothing else really. Any new hobbies in retirement? Yes, when I first stayed at home, when I did admit I was retired, I started the YouTube channel. I walked the dogs every day. I read quite a few books. Well, I've always liked to read, but I had more time to read quite a few books. I exercise with improved health, and can't think of her name because she doesn't say her. Jules from Improved Health. She's wonderful because she has so many videos. She's from Canada, the place we want to visit. Let's see, hobbies. Oh, photography. I started taking Sammy's picture, and Sammy's our little papillon. And oh yeah, and I was making cards for Cards of Compassion. So that was totally new to photography plus making cards, which is a lot harder than you think, because you've got to think of a saying with that card. You got to center it. I do the writing too, and it's not always the best, but it is very challenging to come up. I try to gear them towards the people I know. I'm making cards for family, and I spend a lot of time gearing the cards towards their personal lifestyle, what's going on in their life. So they're very time consuming to make the cards. And then I made them for strangers, which Cards of Compassion did just go out of business because Sue Young, the president, has health concerns. So they are no longer taking cards. But I am doing, I am volunteering for Color a Smile, where you print pictures from their website, color them and mail them. And I have not yet mailed my first batch. I've always liked to do volunteer work. I've always volunteered since I was a young girl. I volunteered for American Lung Society. My sisters and I would put on plays. We'd go around to schools and put on plays telling kids not to smoke. My older sister got that started. I don't know. It wasn't like the whole auditorium or anything. I think we went to classrooms or something and would put on a skit telling kids not to smoke, which our father smoked 3 packs a day. So I didn't have a problem telling people not to smoke because I could not stand that smoke. But that was our first volunteering. And then what else did I do? I mean, junior achievement. I don't know if it's really volunteering. We made a product and sold it. Oh, Marsha Dimes Walkathon. I'd walk in that. Then let's see, what else? I've always been looking for volunteer opportunities. Later, I volunteered for Junior Achievement in Atlanta. That does it's different than the Junior Achievement I was in, but this is where I would help. School kids had to go to Junior Achievement on a field trip, and I would run one of the businesses and teach them business concepts. The Cards of Compassion. I can't even think, but I mean, in a way, well, I guess this channel is volunteering because we don't make any money. It is kind of like volunteering because I'm doing it for free, maybe helping some people, maybe educating some people, maybe entertaining some people. If you're here, you're getting one of those out of it. Okay, so best trip activity in retirement. We haven't really been on a lot, but we did right before he got this new job. Between the last job and this job, we ran to Providence Canyon near Columbus, about an hour from Columbus. When you tell people you went on vacation in Columbus, they're like, why? When we just bought these recliners. I didn't put the video on about those yet, but the man was from Columbus where we bought these recliners, and he said, nobody goes on vacation in Columbus. I said, well, Providence Canyon is an hour away. Have you been there? He's like, no, never. But that was gorgeous. One of Georgia's 7 natural wonders. And we've been to, I think, 3 of them so far. Trip, even though it was short and simple, it was just beautiful, and we have these pictures forever. How do you maintain your mental and physical health? I work hard on my mental health, probably more than my physical health, because ever since COVID, it feels like there's a mental health crisis in America. The old Surgeon General, which I don't remember his name, talked about it, about isolation and how it causes health problems, isolation from COVID. And so many people are in therapy. And to tell you the truth, I think of everybody I know, and I don't know anybody who's normal. But my mother used to always say to me, who's to say what's normal? She said that all the time, I think in high school, in college. I don't know why, because when I asked my siblings, they said she never said that to me. Why did she only say it to me? They're kidding me that she must have thought I was the one who wasn't normal. No, I think I probably was the one who questioned why people acted the way they did and what was normal. And she said, who's to say what's normal? Well, later I found out the DSM-5, as I majored in special education or got certified in special education. The DSM-5 tells you what's normal, and basically it changes according to socially acceptable things. So what's normal in this country is not normal in another country. So she was right. Who's to say it was normal? Because it's different by country, by age, by year. What was normal last year is not normal. This year, what's normal now is not normal. Normal changes. It's whoever, the most common thing that's done is the normal thing. But is that really normal because most people do it or more people do it? Because Steve and I are out-of-the-box thinkers. So I guess you'd say we're not normal because we try not to follow the crowd. We try to think of unique ways to survive. Okay, and physical, like I said, I get my 10,000 steps and 35 to 45 minutes a day. My doctor told me to work up to an hour. I've never liked exercising, never. But I do jump on a trampoline. I walk in place. I do jumping jacks every hour. I try to walk the dogs, but Sammy's so hyper. They're hard. They're getting harder to walk instead of easier. I do try to do some physical activity throughout the day. What have been your biggest challenges, surprises? My biggest surprise is that so few people are retired. I try to find people to do things like exercise or do things with, and I find that nobody's retired. Nobody can afford to retire. We went to a party that was me and my grown kids drove over to my sister's house in Middle Georgia, and half of the guests were the parents' age. They were they were her husband's age, 70 to 80s, and most of them were still working. That was very surprising. Well, I find that people in my area, if they're in their 50s or 60s, and I say, hey, you want to do this? They're all still working. Everybody is still working. So that is surprising that I don't know a lot of retired people. My one sister is retired in North Carolina because she retired during COVID, kind of like I did. She retired with, she has, I think maybe 2 pensions. They're both small, and Social Security. But I just can't find a lot of people who are retired. That's very surprising to me. But watching the YouTube videos, you see that nobody can afford to retire, that people are working till their 80s. I mean, even my kid's music teacher, she's 88. She worked until COVID, so she was about 84. She was working until 84. She would still be working if COVID didn't hit. I can't find people who are retired. Do you wish you retired sooner or later? I'd say later for sure. I would have loved to kept working. I would have loved to have income coming in. I wish COVID never happened as it changed the world. Definitely I would have said later. Did you do anything to better prepare yourself for retirement? Did you do anything to better... I'm not sure what that question is. I wrote these down real quickly. To better prepare myself... I mean, we tried to save as much as possible, but we found that it doesn't matter what you save, you're never going to have enough. As things are going up 3 and 4 times, you're never going to have enough money. So then you got to think out of the box and, I don't know, downsize. We've been looking at tiny homes for a long time. We've been looking at what we're going to do. So I don't think there is any way to prepare yourself for retirement. When I find the few couples I did know, like my parents who retired, the few couples I knew who retired, one was sick and one was okay. So in every situation, they still didn't travel because one person had health problems and one person was healthy. That's what I've seen in the few people who I have seen retire. So the healthy person might be taking that sick person to the doctor's appointments. Any estate planning? Not really. I mean, we did a will years ago. Since Steve's had numerous jobs, he has different IRAs because he didn't consolidate them. He's put me down as beneficiary. I have one IRA. I put him down, and then I think the kids, if sometimes you're not able to. So that's an issue if we both die together and we couldn't put the kids down. They might have a little challenge. So we are, in January, our goal is to go make our wills officially because we made them years ago. Our goal is to make our wills and do a power of attorney, a medical power of attorney. Neither of us want to be kept alive on machines. Besides, we never wanted that. We don't want to bankrupt the other person. So if we're not living life, we don't want to be living life on a machine. We don't want, no. If you're not able to get up and live life every day, we don't want to be here. So we are going to do that for estate planning. We are both being cremated. We both bought urns, which are wooden boxes. We did a video on that. We did not pay for the cremation in advance because we're not sure we're going to be living here. We didn't want to lose the money. Plus, if you die out of state, you can barely get a body across state lines, so you'd probably want to be cremated there. So if we prepaid cremation here, we don't know if you lose the money, if you got in a car accident or something out of state. So we're probably not going to prepay the cremation. We probably just pay it as it happens. And then after my friend died, the last video I made, she didn't have a funeral she didn't have a funeral, barely had an obituary, didn't have a memorial, and we probably won't have a funeral because we've moved around so much. It's just, we're the youngest of the siblings. Steve has 2 brothers who are quite a bit older, so we're probably going to be the last ones to die. So there's not going to be a lot of people to come. There'll be our nieces and nephews, but young people are busy with their families, and it's costly. We don't anticipate people will be coming, so we won't even have a service. Our kids can spread our ashes. We told them where we want them spread, but probably no service. How do you define retirement success? In America, everything is defined by money. Whoever has the most money is the most successful. I've given up on that idea a long time ago. I find that people with money, the more money you have, the more unhappy you are. So retirement success is where, I guess where you're, well, first of all, you're being kind. I wear my Be Kind shirts. Be kind to everyone. That makes you successful. It doesn't cost anything. If you're kind to people, you go out your way to be kind, then you're successful no matter what age. So I guess if you're living life, enjoying life, not hurting people, and you're able to pay your bills, I guess that's success. And giving back. Volunteering, giving back. Somehow, some way, you're giving back to society, making it a better place instead of taking it away and making it a worse place to live in. So that's the success for anybody, not just retirees. I guess retiree success would be that you are able to afford to retire. I don't know what else would make it a retire success. I don't really know. What advice would you give to someone who is 5 to 10 years from retiring? Well, Uh, Boy, I'd say your job's probably in jeopardy. If you're 5 to 10 years, you're probably a target right now. You may be retired tomorrow. I would be saying check what you have, what your 401k, what your IRAs, what Social Security, what you'll get at 62 to 70, what debt you have to pay off all your debt to get in good shape. Because if you're 5 or 10 years out, I can guarantee you are not making it in 5 to 10 years. Very few people are not laid off. Corporations are laying people off as they get closer and closer, so they don't have to give them health insurance, so they don't have to give them their full pension. At the hospital in Atlanta here, I heard they laid off all the nurses who were 60 and up. 60 and up. Didn't matter if you've been there 2 years or 5 years or 30, they laid them all off to save money. So yeah, if you are 60, I would be checking my assets and health insurance options and what other maybe opportunities you might have, because I would say you're not going to make it to 65 or 70. That's what I'd be doing at 5 if you think you're 5 or 10 years out. I mean, I never thought I'd be at home at this point today. I thought we were both going to be working several more years, probably 5 more years for both of us. Well, maybe not quite 5, maybe 4 more years for both of us, and then selling the house and traveling. So life throws you a lot of surprises. A lot of surprises. You try to plan. And I know the saying, you make plans and God laughs. Now, I wouldn't say don't plan. I would definitely, I'm a big planner. I always have plan A, B, and C. But yeah, if you're 5 or 10 years out, I would be checking everything right now. And I like to write down, not just, I don't like to put, I think, and some other people agree with me, when you write it, you get it in your brain more. So I like to handwrite things instead of typing them, because I just think there's a connection. So handwrite, I like to handwrite I like to handwrite what you have saved and what you're going to have each month in retirement. So if you've enjoyed this, I would check out that channel. It's a really cool channel. He talks to a variety of people. I think just the few I've seen, they've all pretty much retired from either the military or government, because they're all fairly young, 30 years. They retired after 30 years, and so it's interesting. It's interesting. There must be a retirement group somewhere. I know Steve and I have gone to the senior centers to try to volunteer, and they don't want us to volunteer, but we've noticed most of the people are between 70 and 80. There's nobody in their 60s going to do the activities at the senior center. So that's our biggest thing, is we can't find people to do things with. And I told them maybe we're just going to have to suck it up and go visit with the 70 to 80-year-olds. Maybe then we'll get some people who will be on our channel. So we might start doing that one day. So our next video, I'm going to make a video about getting that chair, buying our recliners, which is another retired thing to do, right? To buy recliners. So check that out, as well as our other ones. My one with my friend dying, my estranged friend dying. My last video got over 800 views, which was a lot for me. It had a lot of current issues, estrangement. She was a doll mom, and then passing away in the funeral, the whole funeral thing, that she's not having her funeral. So it had a lot of the current issues today in that video. So check it out and give me a thumbs up. Until I see you again, take it easy.